Hi everyone, and welcome to our very first storytelling video. Now, we did an article about the 5 most famous people who lived in East Meadow, but today we're talking about a very infamous one, Joel Rifkin, who was East Meadow's serial killer.
Now, Joel Rifkin used to live in East Meadow, and he actually attended East Meadow High School where we were before, and he also attended NASA Community College. Although he struggled greatly in school, he turned out to become a freelance landscaper, where his first murder was only committed when he was about 30 years old. The first murder was committed on February 20th, 1989, and his first victim was called Heidi Susie Bonk. He killed her in his own home in East Meadow, and he severed her head and put it into a paint can, which he later disposed in a golf course in New York, Jersey.
But sorry, so you said that the head was disposed at a golf course, but where's the rest of her?
Well, she was brutally tortured as he removed her fingertips and her teeth, and he disposed her legs and body in a river further north.
Now, Balk wouldn't be identified until 24 years later. But this was way after Rifkin committed his second crime. Sometime between 1989 and 1991, Julie Blackbird was picked up by Rifkin at Lower Manhattan. Rifkin then took her home and repeatedly beat her with the leg of his table. He dismembered her body parts in his basement and disposed of them in boxes which he packed with cement. Now, her remains were never found. And part of the reason why Rifkin was able to continuously commit these murders was because the police couldn't put them together. During the late 80s and 90s, crime was rampant in New York. The police couldn't put together these murders.
4 months later, Barbara Jacob was bludgeoned to her death in her sleep, and her body was found hours later by the fire department in the Hudson River. The next 2 women, Mary Ellen DeLuca and Yun Lee, were both found 2 months apart. Lorene Alvida and Mary Ann Holloman and 2 other Jane Does were all found in oil gems that were placed in various rivers. When the victims' bodies were found in the oil gems, they were almost incinerated and in very worse condition. The medical examiner declared that death was from asphyxiation.
Now retired detective Raymond Aguirre determined that there was a serial killer on the loose, but the New York police force decided to keep it closed as to not spread fear. Rifkin went on to murder 8 more women in about a year: Ana Lopez, Violet O'Neill, Jenny Soto, Mary Catherine Williams, Leah Evans, Iris Sanchez, and Lauren Marquez.
In June 1993, his murders would come to a halt, as on a lonely night, the police found an unlicensed vehicle driving across the highway. When the driver failed to comply and pull over, and pursuit was initiated. It ended when he ran into a light pole on Old Country Road, where Tiffany Bashini, Rifkin's final victim, was found rolled up in a blue top in the back of his truck.
Now, we may speak of these events from a third-party perspective. Obviously, neither of us were born or were there when these events occurred, but it's really important that we honor and remember these victims, these young women who were killed by Joel Rifkin. It's also equally important that we stay safe. So, Sarah, what are some of your favorite tips on staying safe?
Well, it's obviously important that you travel in groups. Always have your phone on you, and if you feel ever endangered, put your location on to friends and family that you trust.
If you're ordering an Uber or something, make sure that you always ask your driver who they're supposed to be picking up and not the other way around. That way they can't just say yes if you say your name to them. So we hope that you learned something new from today's video. If you'd like more stories about interesting events that happen in East Meadow, please let us know. And as always, you have an amazing day, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.